candidate for Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney, Kelsey Guernsey. Hi, Kelsey.
Hey, Bart. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, you too.
So we've got less than 3 weeks till the primary election.
August 6th. Yes, sir.
And we've got 2 candidates on the Republican primary ballot and no Democrats.
Correct.
So whoever wins in August will be, the next prosecutor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whoever wins this primary is in.
Why did you decide you wanted to run for this office, Kelsey?
Yeah, so this career that I've chosen is a calling for me. But bigger than that, this is hometown for me. I'm born and raised in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I could go and do what I do in other counties and make more money. I could pick a different, type of law and make more money. But this isn't about a money thing. It's about a calling in this community and protecting this community that I'm born and raised in.
Yeah, statewide, there is a shortage of prosecutors. Counties are, they can't find. What do you think it is? Why are there not enough prosecutors?
I think that there are people that don't see the benefit of that, right? Of standing on this side of the process and getting to protect and help administer justice. There's a lot of benefits to working in prosecutors' offices. You get set hours, you get, you don't have to go out and call for your kind of clients, right? You have a structured salary and that things. And I've worked in a prosecutor's office my entire life. I have made a good life for my son and I. We're able to be just fine and survive in the world. But it's a calling and it takes a lot of work. When you're prepping a case, it's not just an 8 to 5 job. You're working every night, you're working every weekends, you're taking phone calls from law enforcement. And I embrace that and I like that part of the job. So
tell us a little bit about your background that prepares you for this job.
Sure. So after I graduated from Columbia Central, like I said, I'm a local kid. My parents both taught there. So even though we lived in Hanover Horton, I went to school at Columbia. I graduated from there and went to Michigan State. My undergrad was a pre-law undergrad. I then went to Cooley Law School with a litigation focus as to that. But I remember when I got to law school, I didn't know what kind of lawyer I wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to help people. That was always since I was 14 and I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to help people. So when I got to law school, I had a professor pretty quickly say, I think you should go apply to this internship with the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office. And I hemmed and hawed with her a little bit and she's like, I really think you should apply. I applied, I got the internship, 10 minutes sitting in an office with an APA there. I went, oh no, this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to help people. So I interned at Macomb County Prosecutor's Office. I interned in Genesee County. I was assigned when I was in Genesee County to the City of Flint's Violent Crimes Task Force. So I got a lot of really good experiences working with 2 APAs that were a grant-funded position, just trying to target violent crimes in Flint. And then right out of law school, I got hired into Clare County. And I spent about 10 months up in Clare County before there was a posting in Jackson, and Jerry gave me a call and said, hey, is this something you'd be interested in applying for? And I said, absolutely, I want to come home. So,
what would you say are crime problems in Jackson? What do you want to focus on?
Yeah, so big picture, we've got crimes that hit all areas of our community. Those are typically our domestic violence and our drug cases, right? Those are everywhere and they're everywhere in our community. So in regards to the drug cases, I've already spoken with Mike Hurst and Julie Reisner and those guys that are the Andy's Angels crew, if you will, and we're looking to expand the Drug Summit. The Drug Summit has been wildly helpful and popular, for lack of a better word, in providing resources and information. We want to expand that into middle schools and early high schools, if we can get into those kids early on, and pair with Breakout, which is a program that Family Services Children's Aid does in the schools. I think there's room to grow that because we're seeing younger and younger kids using methamphetamines and heroin for the first time. 13, 14-year-olds. So we want to educate them. What could these drugs do? In regard to the domestic violence, I have focused a lot of my career on the domestic violence and child sexual assaults, which also happen all over the county. No community is immune to them. And so one thing I'm already doing in some of the schools is talking with kids basically about listening to their gut. We get into more in depth about what does anxiety feel like, right? Might be clammy hands, might feel like you need to throw up or go to the bathroom, but it's that listening to your gut, because we know that sexual assaults don't happen the first time a predator is with a victim. They got to break down those boundaries. And so we can get kids to identify when somebody's trying to break down those boundaries and then talk about it, we actually can stop some of those sexual assaults from occurring. Which, you know, as a prosecutor, I've learned a lot from Jerry in the last 10 years. You know, and one of the things that Jerry's done really well is he's involved in the community, right? He's been on all of these boards and he does all these things in the community because he sees a bigger picture as what the elected prosecutor does. I think as an assistant prosecutor, you're reactive. You're just responding to the files that are in front of you, you're prosecuting them, you're holding people accountable. I've done that for the last 10 years. I'm pretty good at that. What I think this position does is needs more community proactiveness. We need to be more proactive with our community. And so getting in the schools to talk with kids about what that gut feels like, getting into the schools to talk about the drug use. And then the third thing, and in particular, the city and the townships that really surround the city, is our gun violence. And the gun violence in the city and the communities right around it is very impactful, obviously. And so kind of the final plan that I have as an elected prosecutor is to do a juvenile gang diversion program. The juvenile gang diversion program will target those before they pick up the guns, before they're causing violence in our community. Can we show them a different pathway? And it's a model that I went to a training on and adapted out of Atlanta, Georgia. They've got much bigger gangs, you know, and a bigger population than we do, but they found it to be really successful. And so if we could even just start to change 5 or 6 youths in our community, that's going to make a difference.
Tell us about your life outside the courthouse, your family, your community involvement.
Sure. I have a 7-year-old son. He and I live in Brooklyn, so we've returned right where I came from. And, you know, I believe in giving back to the community. It's what I've done my entire life. I think we were joking before, the very first time I was on your show was as a high school senior, because I was the Youth Volunteer of the Year way back in the day. I think giving back to the community is a really important thing. So I'm on the Family Services and Children's Aid Board. As I said, I'm the secretary there. I do a lot of coaching for the youth in our community. So not only of my son's sports, though not hockey because I don't have that skill set, but I coached this year for the first time with the Upward League, which is out of the Jackson Free Methodist Church, which was a great basketball league. But it was kids from the whole community, you know, so from all walks of life. And I really enjoy that. You know, I interact with kids talking to me about bad stuff on a regular basis. It's nice to do the fun stuff with them as well. I do children's choirs at my church. You know, giving back to the kids in the communities are what I enjoy doing. And then I play a lot of rec sports in town here too, volleyball, softball. I was going to do golf for the first time this summer, but a campaign kind of got in the way of that, but that's all right.
You mentioned Jerry, and I know you've told us previously that he's endorsed you.
Yeah.
Who and what have you picked up for endorsements?
So, you know, Jerry, his support has been invaluable. You know, there is nobody more ethical and more wanting to give back in this community. I mean, he would tell you the reason he's retiring is that it's a calling for him. This job has been, you know, and given some of his own life, you know, things, he wants to focus on other things in his life, and you can appreciate that. I feel the same way about that. So it's been great to have his support. Sheriff Schutte has also endorsed me to be the next prosecuting attorney. What's interesting about Gary is I worked with him when he was a detective at the city. So he saw me in that role when he was a detective, and I worked on his cases just as an APA. And then he's seen what I can do, you know, now that he's sheriff, and the kind of work product and work ethic that I have. So he's endorsed me, as the entire command staff at JSO has. A couple other police chiefs, Spring Arbor's police chief, Springport's police chief. I think it's Spring Arbor and Summit's fire chief. And then retired Speaker of the House Mike Shirkey and retired State Senator Phil Hoffman, who are not guys that I knew before I got involved in this. I've been a trial attorney. That's what I've been for the last 10 years, a trial attorney, a mom, and a volunteer in the community. But when I got into this and people started to introduce me to people, you know, I sat down with both of them, and they got to know me, and they said, yeah, no, you're the one we're going to back here. You're the one we think that can do this job. So, you know, and I've never ran a campaign, so they've been helpful with kind of what that all looks like.
All right, well, appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And good luck.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thanks. candidate for Jackson County Prosecuting Attorney, Kelsey Guernsey. More to come.